Hey YouTube land, this is Tychonders doing another action figure review. Now, this is something more of a figure scale that I generally don't review, or figure line that I don't review. But it's something I picked up cheap that was on clearance, and I said I'd grab it and just have a quick review of it. I mainly got it to go with others in scale figures, so hopefully the lighting isn't too bad at the moment. But what it is the Mattel WWE Superstars Diva figures. Basically, it's their 12-inch scale or 1/6 scale figures for one of the divas, and this is a diva called Alicia Fox, who I know nothing about. But if I just flip around the back of the box, ooh, she nearly went flying there. You can just see the other figures that are in the line. So if I just bring the camera up, you see I get the shine off the box from the light. You can see the figure itself just says Alicia Fox signature style, casual, playful and polished, and then it just has different languages, and then you got other characters in the wave or in the line, which is Bailey, Charlotte Flair, which I'm assuming is either Ric Flair's granddaughter or daughter, and then you got Becky Lynch, which that name does sound familiar from looking at the kind of other wrestling lines. I've seen figures for her a few times, but this is the 12-inch scale. Let me just move that piece back on. So for scale wise, just move this slightly and bring in the old measuring tape. You can see she stands just a little hair under 12 inches. Just a tiny bit under 12 inches, so it'd be part of the, as I said, 12-inch 1/6 scale. So the figure basically, I'm assuming because it's Mattel, I'm assuming the figure is basically just a repurposed or reused Barbie figure, just with a different head sculpt that looks closer to the wrestler. But I did pick up the figure to go with for doing diorama shots and stuff like that for my Action Man figure, which is, well, the few Action Men that I have, which is, this is an old Pally Toy Action Man, and you can see they scale up quite nicely. Bear with me again, just going to move the light a bit so it's not glaring so much on the actual figures. So bear with me a moment. Hopefully that's okay. You can see the figures, and then just for another scale comparison, there she is next to a more modern 12-inch G.I. Joe. This is one of the older Cobra figures, and then kind of another, I think it was a G.I. Joe Adventures figure or something along those lines. So if I just get him to stand and then just move the camera. Unfortunately, I'm doing this review on carpet, so it does make it a little bit harder for the figures to stand quite well, so bear with me there. So as you can see, the figure standing in between. So just lay these down out of the way. So the figure itself isn't too bad. She has rooted hair, which, unlike some of the other kind of figures that Hasbro did for the actual G.I. Joe line, they did a few female figures for the G.I. Joe line, but instead of having rooted hair, they all had sculpted hair. Pretty much similar to the way this guy's hair is. Instead of having like the fur or the fuzzy hair like the original Action Man kind of, or the Adventure Team stuff. So her head is on a ball joint, so it can do 360. You got some tilt, get up and down on it, which isn't too bad. There's this thing on her neck which kind of flops around the place. She's wearing cloth clothes. Arms go out to the side. Can do a 360. She has a single jointed elbow. She has a swivel in the wrist, swivel in the elbow as well, and she has a hinge on the wrist to go in and out. She does have a split, but because of the way the dress is on her, it hinders it slightly. She can go forward, not too much backwards, but more forward. Can get a seated position. And she has single jointed knees with a swivel in the knee and then nothing in the feet. Interesting is the way they did the boots. They have this big split down the back. I'm assuming it's just make it easier for the boots to go onto the figure, otherwise they'd be jammed on and you wouldn't be able to get them on the figure at all. But as a wrestling thing, basically the idea behind this, if I can just get her to stand without falling over. As I said, the carpet is a bit springy. Mattel's idea behind this is they wanted to do, they aimed the line at girls that were a fan of wrestling. So they have a few of these kind of this scale figure, and then they brought in kind of 6-inch scale figures that were similar and along the lines of the regular wrestling figures, but they did them as a kind of I wouldn't say cartoonish, but they're more stylized for the girls market. So the proportions and stuff like that are they don't look realistic in the sense of the sculpts. They kind of have a almost cartoonesque quality, similar to what they did with the what was that, the DC line, where they had the high school stuff for girls. There's like the Wonder Woman as a teenager, Harley Quinn as a teenager, all those sort of things. They did the same thing with wrestling, so they were trying to cash in on that. So basically what they did is, as I said, they made these fashion dolls for the girls that would be interested in wrestling. Now, I'm not sure how well they did. This could be the only line of figures they'll ever do for it. The sculpting wise, it looks okay, looks pretty good. It does, as I said, scale up quite well with Action Man, which is what I bought it for. Just because it was on clearance, I decided just to grab it, or grab her, so I can actually do different, if I get around to doing some different diorama shots or kind of fun Action Man shots using characters and stuff like that. So it's always handy to have kind of female characters to go along with the male characters if you're doing kind of diorama stuff. So there you go, guys, just a quick video review for the Alicia Fox figure. As I said, I don't know anything about the actual Diva character. I don't follow wrestling that much. I usually generally only review the kind of gimmicky wrestling figures, like the monsters stuff, which I did a review for this guy already. I should be loading it up soon as well, which is the Monsterverse version of Chris Jericho. But as I said, the other kind of female line is kind of similar in scale to these guys, the 7-inch scale line. But all in all, they're kind of cartoonish kind of proportions. But as I said, I generally don't review these figures, but as I picked this one up, I said I'd do a quick video review for it and just show the scale and how it scales up to kind of other kind of more traditional 12-inch figures like Action Man and stuff like that. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoy this video review. I know it's a bit kind of a step away for what I usually review, but I'm going to try and do kind of more, I wouldn't say obscure video reviews, but just more stuff that I pick up along the way. If I find stuff interesting that's cheap and on clearance or anything like that, I'll review those. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this review. As I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed this.